to the stage. James is going to be doing a presentation for the Watford Young Filmmakers Festival. Thank you very much, James.
Fantastic, thank you. So my name's James. I'm from Watford Palace Theatre, and as you can see, this is about filmmaking. And you might be wondering why someone from a theatre is making films. So just to give you a little bit of context, so about 6 or 7 years ago, Watford Palace Theatre broadened the work that we were doing to include both Imagine Watford, an outdoor festival, but also installed state-of-the-art film projecting equipment and digital Dolby surround sound systems within the theatre, so that we could start screening both theatre productions, as has become increasingly popular as live and recorded, but also family films, art house films, and so on. And during that period, I was kind of really keen to embed the work that we were doing in terms of film within the work of the participation team where I work. And so that was kind of really the starting point for the Filmmakers Festival. We began by making films with a group of young people up in Leavesden. I won't say too much more about that because I'm going to show you a short documentary in a moment, which gives you a bit more insight into that. But we started working with those young people and we found that film was a really successful medium. And so with teaming up with Warner Brothers Studio Leavesden, who are right on our doorstep, Watford sort of sits within a lot of the country's film industry, which was another pressing reason why we kind of thought it would be great for Watford to host a Filmmakers Festival. So we started doing some work with them, and also increasingly some of the young people that we'd worked with through the youth theatre were taking the skills that they'd learnt devising, performing and acting, and their artistic skills, and taking those into film companies. In fact, 2 companies, Well Told Film Limited and DMLK Video, then became partners on the short films that we made. So what was Watford Young Filmmakers Festival? Well, it's the first time we've ever done such a thing. It took place in January this year at the theatre. We had about 300 people spend the evening with us. There were screenings of short films that we'd made. There was a networking event. We held a careers fair to give people opportunity to discuss with providers of film courses, to talk about potential pathways and courses that they could take, local companies, and various other people involved in film. And we also had Q&As and various other things. Oh, and popcorn. That was definitely on the list of important things that some of our young panels that we consulted in terms of the organisation of the film festival definitely wanted on the list. We're going to now show you just a little behind-the-scenes documentary. In fact, both the 2 films I'm going to share with you today were all made last autumn over the course of about 10 weeks. We meet with various groups for about 2 hours an evening each week. So it's kind of fast and furious, and actually this is kind of an ethos that I've brought to filmmaking. I was always, in my love of theatre, a bit reluctant to work in film because I always felt that it was this painstaking medium, but actually we've managed to bring quite a speedy process to the films that we've made. Anyway, I will now share with you the behind-the-scenes documentary. Thank you. About 3 years ago, we started to do more work in community settings around Watford as part of a partnership with Warner Brothers Studio Leavesden and Watford Community Housing Trust and other supporters. And we went to places like Leavesden and Orbital, and the young people there were really interested in filmmaking. And although we've worked with the groups on theatre projects and live performance, one of the great advantages of the short films that we've made with them is that they could take an idea and we could develop it, create the script, rehearse it and film it and create a sort of finished product in a relatively short space of time. We also wanted to find ways of capturing the stories, the experiences of the people that we were working with there, but have something that we could bring back into the theatre.
It's just great to be a part of providing this opportunity to these young people. You know, I think film is such a fantastic and exciting form of expression, and it's a privilege to be able to share my knowledge and expertise to help craft, you know, not just these films that we've made here, but hopefully to inspire them to go away and make films of their own.
Well, it's really great to work with another medium, so to be working with film rather than theatre, and some of them have just completely blossomed. We were just talking to one of the parents now whose daughter on the first week was kind of quiet as a mouse, and the mum just said, I can't believe that she was so involved in the film, so that was great.
It all began with The Fallout, a short film that the group in Leavesden came up with, and not only was I learning a lot about making films with the group, but the group themselves were really starting to discover their own creativity. The ideas surrounding the film, the theme and the execution of the theme really did all come from the young people on the project, and that's something that's continued throughout all of the films we've made, both at Leavesden and Orbital and with our Palace Youth Theatre. It's really been about telling stories that the group wanted to tell. Some of the participants who've stayed with us across all of those projects, they've refined and developed their artistic voice, which I think has been the most exciting thing for me to observe as a director and facilitator.
So Josh, what's your job today?
I'm doing the clapperboard.
So Josh, what's your job here today?
I'm doing the clapperboard.
So for this latest project with our group in Leavesden, I really wanted them to explore taking a very simple idea and executing it. All of the ideas were so strong that we actually ended up taking 4 of those ideas forward, quadrupling our workload, but fantastically bringing 4 unique, distinct, yet interlinked pieces together. And as well as making the films, we were also interested in looking at the behind the scenes. So we kind of had 2 projects running simultaneously, which involved members of the group who weren't necessarily involved in a particular story strand, then looking at the behind the scenes element.
How's the filming going?
Alright, slow and steady.
Yeah.
It's going well. We're almost in the last scene. Just one more.
So how's filming been for you?
Good, great experience, as I've never really shot anything before, so it's good.
The whole part's been dressing up and all George's equipment.
Why?
It's just been interesting.
Well, this year you'd work in small groups and you'd devise a little scene within a school. And then last year it was more of an entire group, so there was no individual group work and then bringing it all together.
I've been filming the behind the scenes. I've been doing the clippy board where I have to say the slates, the scenes and the title.
Scene 1, slate 1, take 1.
Take 1.
Take 1.
Beautiful.
Take 1.
Headmaster's office, scene 1, slate 5, take 1.
Thank you.
It's been fun making all the ideas and I'd like to do another film.
Over the years that I've been working on the films, I've developed much more drama skills and filming skills.
I enjoyed being around the cameras, I enjoyed being around other people and acting with others. And I'm not camera shy. I don't feel that I have to be nervous in front of a camera anymore. I definitely like making another film. It's a really good experience.
Well, I would like to make one of these again because it was really fun and it's just been a really good drama experience for me. I'm excited to see my whole film and it's going to be a bit weird seeing myself, but it's going to be exciting.
I think it's every filmmaker's dream to see their film projected on a cinema screen. So it's wonderful that projects like this provide that opportunity to these young people. And in the past, on the odd occasion where we've shown a rough cut to the participants, seeing their reactions is fantastic.
It was a really good experience because I've never had an opportunity to make a film like that, but it was also really scary. It takes a long time to get one bit done, but it turns out good in the end.
The final piece was amazing and I was kind of like, oh, that's really good, it was all worth it.
It's just great to see such a quality piece of work for them to be really proud of.
So I think the real legacy is to give an artistic voice to the young people and hopefully to their communities as well, for them to take the skills that they've learnt and use them in their everyday life or even in careers going forward.
I think we're at a time where film and digital media as a whole is more important than it's ever been. People are consuming more video now than ever before. So working with these groups to further their knowledge of the film production process is an invaluable experience.
And what's exciting is that a lot of this work is being seen for the first time, both by the participants and you, the audience. And that's really exciting to have premieres of new work and to be able to show it here at the Palace Theatre on our big screen. Great, so that film shows you a whole range of the films that we've made over the years. I'm going to be sharing with you now the last set of films that we made last year with the group in Leavesden. And all the people you saw there involved in those films were all aged between 10 and 16, though I will talk more after the films about the kind of future direction of the Young Filmmakers Festival, because it's very much a pilot for us. It was very much a starting point and an opportunity for us to kind of reach out and see the other people in Watford who are delivering film, to make connections and partnerships, and also to kind of make young people aware of the platform that's available to them in terms of networking and sharing their work. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the 4 films that we made with Leavesden last term. They've got various titles. It'll all flash up. Thank you.
What would you like? Oh, I'm not hungry.
What for breakfast?
There's waffles, pancakes, bacon roll, egg roll, cereal, fruit. You had that last week. Have you got anything raw? Any blood? I know you asked that. Okay, never mind. I'll just have an apple. What room are you in today?
C12 in the morning, then I go on break duty, then in the afternoon S1. What about you?
I'm in and out of the gym and on the Astro with the Year 9s first thing.
I have the Year 10s first thing. Such a nightmare.
Jeez Louise, your day rocks.
Tell me about it.
What have you got planned for today?
I've got this amazing game plan. It's called Sleep in Line. It's where we all lay down, pretend to go to sleep, and the winner is the person who can stay asleep for the longest.
Let's have a go.
Yeah.
Wait. We need to make sure we don't actually fall asleep.
Yeah. Miss, can I go home yet? Miss?
Ah, Josh. Must be here for another after-school detention.
No, don't be upset.
I beg your pardon.
Here we are. Now. Wait. I appear to be missing something. Hello, Miss Wright. It's Josh. I'll have a cup of tea, thank you.
Yes. Miss Wright, may I have 2 teas, please? Continue.
I've been looking at the plans of the new school building, and I would like to propose a few changes. I've amended the overall design to allow for a gate here with an observation tower. This is to ensure that no students come in late or leave before the final bell. The core subjects will be housed here, with the performing arts in a separate building and nicely soundproof so they don't disturb us with their stupid noise. My office will be situated here. I'll have bookshelves all around me, a fireplace with an armchair, possibly even a chandelier. Your office will be right next door. You'll have a desk and 2 chairs. Nothing fancy, of course. I mean, why do you need this computer? I've never seen you use it. Is there something the matter? Wait. Miss Wright, it's Josh. My tea? Terrible service.
Josh, do we need to call your mother again?
No, headmaster. Don't worry about that. Here, let me move this out of your way. Good day, headmaster.
Silly boy.
Yeah. Yes. Alright, Mum, sure. Alright. What do you think you're playing at? You owe me an apology.
No, mate, you're joking.
You owe me an apology.
Let's sort this out, man to man.
Let's take this outside.
We are outside.
Perfect. Go on then, say it.
I'm sorry.
That's what I thought.
Great, so that was the 4 films that we made in just 10 weeks over about a space of probably about 15 hours really of real kind of creative time. So we're planning to go forward for the next couple of years with 2 more festivals, and the Palace Theatre, we have a range of different projects, including something called Young Producers. So for young people interested in producing events, in being creative in terms of the organisational elements of the event, we'll be putting together a team of people to actually lead on the festival and also work with us in terms of the shortlisting and selection process of people's films for the future festivals. And I think that's everything. So I think we might be handing over to questions. Yes.
James, that's a really fantastic presentation. Thank you very much. Come over and have a seat. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I was enjoying the music there as well. Brilliant. Okay, so just a couple of questions. I'm not sure if you touched base on this, but how do the young filmmakers get involved? How does that process work? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So there's 2 ways to get involved, really. The first would be to obviously take part in some of the youth theatre activity.
Yep.
The Palace Youth Theatre, although we're essentially a youth theatre, it's very much focused around creativity and a variety of different performance. So we do outdoors performance, we do immersive performance, and although kind of stage performance is our bread and butter, it kind of diversifies to all kinds of things. And as you've seen from the film there, they were kind of devising, writing, getting involved in the technical elements.
Yep.
So there's kind of the range of skills that we offer, including young production team as well, and that also applies to Hertfordshire County Youth Theatre, the other youth theatre that we run through the Palace Theatre. So that's one route to getting involved.
Yep.
But in the festival that we held in January was mostly content made by the various youth theatres that we work with, in Leavesden, Holywell, Orbital, and at the Palace Theatre. But we'll also be looking for filmmakers who aren't necessarily working with us directly, but have made films to then submit their films. So there will be an open submission process. So main thing to do is to kind of check our website really for updates, because we'll be obviously sending out information about that. And part of the kind of legacy of setting this up was during the last festival, we also held workshops around filmmaking. Obviously, a lot of the films there were using some quite technical equipment, but at the film festival we also screened films made on iPhones. So kind of using little editing, very low tech, and George, who spoke there on the video from DMLK Video, they also ran a workshop around both high-tech and low-tech solutions to improving your films. So kind of part of that was also about kind of encouraging filmmaking amongst the people attending the festival with a view to open submissions in the future. Okay,
that's interesting, talking about the equipment as well, obviously with the filmmakers and stuff. Do they get access through this equipment through yourself? Is it all provided there for them to use? What kind of equipment are you talking about here? What kind of equipment can they expect to be using?
So the equipment's usually provided by the partners that we work with. So we've worked with Well Told Film Limited and Dreamlock, DMLK. So George brings a lot of his equipment along, sound equipment, 4K cameras. This is where you get me a little fuzzy on the old technical side of things. So some of that equipment is provided by partners that we work with within the film industry, and we're always kind of looking to make connections with young filmmaking companies locally. There are also other providers of equipment as well. So Youth Connections, I know, have a group that meet, and they've got equipment that young people can use to make films. And as I say, we also used the participants' own mobile phones.
That's interesting. You mentioned the mobile phones. How does that work? What kind of things do you do with the mobile phones? How does that work? I mean, do you film little bits and use iMovie, or is there a process that goes on there? How does that work?
So George talked through a little bit about both how you could light a film, how you can improve the sound by using more than one mobile phone, and also the range of apps and digital programs that are out there. So there's kind of a range of platforms that you can use to kind of edit. The 2 films that we screened as part of the Filmmakers Festival were actually one-take films. So although there was some sound editing, music and other things, and title sequences and so on added to the films, the group was set the challenge of creating a film that could be done in one take.
Wow.
Which is a whole skill in itself, and also actually relies on, interestingly, it relies on a lot of their live performance skills, because it's one take, you've got to get it right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That's really, really good. And thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
We will wrap that up there. Thank you very much again, James, for
Cheers, thank you.
coming along. Thank you very much.